So yesterday I did part one of the Discern the Mirage, right? And I left off an important part of my story. So this dream that I had where I was basically about to be set up by this girl and this guy. And if you haven't seen it, just go back and watch the first one. It was like I was doing someone's hair and she was about to set me up. So, and it was a guy that I saw in a dream. It was dark, but I was able to get a close up on his face because he walked up close to the door and I had to lock the door to keep him out. So, this was during the day now. So, after that, I had to go to work. And so in my job, I have to basically talk to people, be nice to people, and stuff like that. Um, and so today was a regular day. I'm being nice, being my usual self. And it's this guy that I guess he takes me being nice as me being interested in him, right? Which was not the case. But I can understand why he thought that. And so, cause I am goofy, and a man that doesn't know me would think, oh, well, she probably like me. No, I don't. Okay, so he asked me for my number, right? But before he left, I was able to get a really good look at him because me, I'm just kind of doing my own little thing, but I'm talking at the same time. So I really didn't get a chance to just look at him until right before he left. And it hit me like this man kind of looks like the guy that was in my dream, but I kind of dismissed it because I was in the midst of something. So later, when I was able to get by myself and just put everything together and just try to think about my dream and what happened in my dream, I was able to interpret my dream, right? And you remember I told you in my dream, the house that I was in was the house that I grew up in. I don't live in that house anymore. So it's really no reason for me to been in that house because I don't live in that house anymore. I live in a totally different state. So I was in the house that I grew up in. And the girl that I was supposed to have been doing her hair, she was a member of my church. And she had a strange man with her that I ended up actually meeting in person later that day. So I was able to interpret this dream into the house that I was living in was a familiar place, right? Because she also was acquainted with my family in the dream. So that's something of a familiar place. I'm coming to it. There's something of familiar, right? That a significant, that shows familiarity, right? So then the fact that she was actually bringing danger to me, the Lord spoke to me about this. So I knew to avoid the guy, first of all. I knew to avoid him and not really take him serious. So I let him know later that day, like, yeah, it's not gonna work. Like, I was just being nice because I'm at work. That's a part of my job to be nice. So I let him know that later that day. But back to basically what God showed me in the revelation was sometimes the enemy will use those familiar to you as a gateway to get into your life. Like, God even dealt with me about this person that I was ordering food from. And the Lord showed me that I'm not gonna say any names. I just hope you're not ordering. But God showed me that the enemy had basically made a deal with this person years ago to where this person would target people that are saved or just women, period, and this person would be a gateway into this person's life, into these people's life that ordered food from them, that the demons could have access to them. It's crazy. And so this person that was in my dream, this girl, she was like showing, the Lord was showing me that the enemy was trying to use something familiar, because this guy, that was in my, that I had met in person that day, he did seem cool. Like, we was laughing and chilling like we had known each other for years. But I'm gonna tell you something. That's how the enemy uses a lot of people. He wants to use something familiar to you, something. Even it may be something that someone that you've dated before or something like that. How they try to come back around. I talked about how my ex wanted to come back into my life, talking about he wanted to rekindle something, right? But you also know the stuff that I've been through. You also know the hardship that I've had to face. You also know the things that I've had to work to be delivered from, right? And the fact that he was more comfortable with me being the way I used to be in the past. He was more comfortable with me. Like, I told him, and I was being real transparent with him, and I told him that I stopped eating meat for a certain reason, for health reasons, right? And yeah, it wasn't just because I wanted to cut it out. It was really because it was starting to affect my health. And I didn't know it. It had been doing it for years. It was like chicken, beef, pork. The only thing that I may still eat now is fish. Because the other stuff, my body just rejects it, right? But he gonna tell me, talking about, you want to eat some chicken. I'm just like, what? You gonna try to tell me? So I'm basically more valuable to you dead than alive, basically. Because I've told you that it affects my body to the point where it can really hurt me. And you're still telling me that I should eat some chicken. So that shows, and I'm only telling y'all this because I want you to know that when someone is happier with you the way you used to be and the way that you would like to be delivered from, if they're more comfortable with you in sin or in something that hurts you, that means that person is sent by the devil. If this person likes you better doing stuff that you did in your past and they can't handle the delivered you need to help this person to see their exit. You see what I'm saying? Because at this point, you're sabotaging yourself, because we have to be able to set clear boundaries around ourselves. And we also need to be able to respect others' boundaries. But we have to set boundaries within ourselves, because you got to realize your flesh is one of your biggest haters. Your flesh, because your flesh want to do stuff that you ain't got no business doing. Your flesh don't mind eating something that'll kill you. Your flesh doesn't mind smoking. Your flesh doesn't mind drinking. Your flesh doesn't mind a little gossip here and there. Your flesh don't mind. Your flesh don't mind it. Your flesh don't mind doing stupid stuff. Your flesh doesn't mind dealing with people that you should not deal with. You see what I'm saying? Your flesh doesn't mind it, but your spirit is gonna always try and lead you in the right way, especially when you feed your spirit the word of God, especially when you get up to pray every morning and you make it your business to make time for God each and every day. Your spirit is gonna always try to lead you in the right way and to protect you from harm. Ain't no telling what type of mindset that man had that was trying to talk to me. It had to be something crazy for me to been able to see him in a dream and meet him the same day. I have never met this man before in my life, but God, he loved me so much that he let me see him in a dream before I even meet him to let me know, don't deal with him. So if you have been having dreams, if God has been showing you stuff, please listen. Please obey God, because that could be something that could save your life. That could be something that could be the difference between damnation in your life or freedom in your life. You know, it's been a lot of situations happening where people have been exposed, and people, big name people. Tyler Perry, just came out, and I just did a video endorsing one of his movies, and then some comes out where he's been exposed by this other young man. But when you listen to the man's story, it sounds like basically someone that's just going over boundaries, right? I'm not gonna go into everything that happened, but it sounds like it was some boundaries that was crossed. And that's why I say you have to set clear boundaries, because you got to know what you're going to stand for and what you're not going to go for in your life. Because the enemy, he will try to use something familiar to you to try and to swither his way back into your life. So you got to know, okay, I'm not going back there anymore. I'm free from that. I'm done with that. I'm moving forward. And you can't compromise in those things that you have set boundaries around. It's important for you to know, okay, I'm not going to go for that. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to um, give up what I believe in. You see what I'm saying? And just trust God and trust the process of life. Don't try to rush stuff, because when we try to rush things, often that's the devil's way, doing stuff the fast way. And I've had to check myself on that several times, trying to do stuff the fast way. Take your time and be able to obey God and listen to God, and don't be afraid to get by yourself sometimes and think and pray, so you can get clear direction from what you should do in your life.